Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be update number 2, I believe, of my TLR22 SCT. Now this is, of course, the two-wheel drive platform from TLR. Comes in full kit form, so you do have to build it yourself. On a side note, definitely wanted to mention this as well. The RC Network, 6,000 subscribers. Definitely want to say thank you to you guys for not only watching my little videos here, but participating in not only YouTube, but Google Plus and all other different mediums that there are out there for sharing information. So that's basically what this channel is about. So back to the build. As you see there, I got my nice little stand right here with all my tools set up. Been building for about an hour and a half now, and pretty much got the front clip of the car done. However, the shocks and the body mounts, that's left kind of towards the end of the build. Now, one thing I do have to say is TLR, Losi, Racing Hobby, they make some pretty good instructions that actually don't include any wording at all. It's pretty much just kind of a point and add an item or a model number and go from there. So it gives you a pretty good scenario of what to do where, and put black grease here and things like that. So I'm actually starting right now on bag B, starting on the rear assembly and getting the rear diff and all that kind of good stuff put together. So pretty good job on the instructions. There's been a couple of gray areas that I kind of had to refer back and kind of really think about, but maybe it was just late in the shop. So all in all, pretty good deal with the manual. Very, very nice manual, I have to add. Has that kind of matte black finish. Now as far as the build, I want to pull this thing up close, get this thing up to you guys so you can kind of see it here. But very quality as far as the build construction, the parts, the plastics, everything's very, very nice. I'm pretty happy with everything that has went on so far. Now some of the plastics, you do have to put just a little bit of grease on the screws to get the screw to go into some of the plastics, because it is, some of the stuff is very hard, and you do have to just kind of get the screws going, so to speak. So, but all in all, really happy with how this is kind of went so far. Now you may have noticed there's a couple of upgrades already on this short course truck. One thing I did want to mention is if you're building this truck, buy a servo right when you start building it, because you will need this thing immediately, and there's no going back and installing the servo at a later time, because it's pretty well in there and you're not going to be able to get any kind of drivers in there to make it happen. So also pick up a servo horn. I picked out one that was kind of an upgrade to get this going. It does come with I believe 3 or 4 different versions of servo horns to fit all the popular ones on the market, but I happen to pick up my favorite. So on to some of the upgrades that I have installed so far. The first thing here, let's mention something I've already talked about. This is going to be the servo horn, and that's going to be TLR 1557. Now that's for my Savox or a Futaba 25 tooth. There are also a 24 and a 23, depending on what kind of servo that you have. Next thing on down the line, I did install the front kingpins. These are titanium nitride, and basically give you a complete through axle on this top portion. Note the model number. There will be a little clickable link down in the video description, so don't just put the pen and paper away. You're good. I got you covered. So right here, you'll kind of see that kind of goldish color peeking through there. That basically goes all the way through, where with the stock form you actually get a screw that goes up, a screw that goes down, and it doesn't meet in the middle. So this really keeps everything straight, keeps everything functioning really good. Alright, next thing on down the line, I have added a couple of items here to, I guess, put me back to 0, but I wanted to do this just because it was mentioned to me by one of the team drivers, and I wanted to go ahead and use their setup because they're using it and they're winning. So one thing that I did add is the aluminum front pivot, TLR22. Now this is the 25 approximately degree front pivot. Now there's a 30 degree. I went with a 25, and I'll share with you here what I did to compensate for that. I also added the 5 degree caster blocks, just the plastic ones, nothing major, TLR 1058. So real quick point out, front pivot, that's going to be that little fancy deal down here that you see. That has that kind of goldish color right there. It adds a little bit of weight to the front end, which I definitely like. I like my short course trucks to have a little bit of weight to them. Normally that's plastic, and it comes with the 30 degree one in the kit. So 25 degree there, and then right here are the caster blocks, and these are the 5 degree ones. Whoa, that's pretty close. So normally it comes with just a 0 offset one. So all in all, that is the build. One thing I did want to mention, as far as specialty tools, I've had this thing for quite some time. I'll have the model number of this down in the video description as well. Just a nice turnbuckle wrench. You know, you can't go wrong with a TLR product. Pretty much it does 4mm, which you will need on this build, and then it also has a 3.5 and a 5mm on the other side. One other specialty thing I did pick up, and you know, it was like about $8, but I hate building turnbuckles, and this little nice handy tool from TLR definitely made sense. So this is specifically for the 22 line of vehicles. 4.8mm is basically the size of the ball cup, and you basically throw the ball cup in there and you twist on your turnbuckles. So kind of holds everything for you and gives you a good grip to it, so you don't kill your fingers. I hate that. So, but nice little thing there. I wanted to add that. There'll be something in the video description as well for that one. But here's a quick model number if you want to reference that. So 5-digit at the end, 72,000 for the model number. So pretty cool little item. I picked that up too. And kind of as we go through the video series, there will be different updates and upgrades and things like that. You know, with the RCNetwork, I can't just leave something stock. So there's a whole plethora of parts that are on their way in here to the RCNetwork to make this truck definitely a good competitor out there. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little update of my TLR22 SCT. If you have any comments, questions, please post them on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over now.